So the next thing that happens, I get charged with, I went too far, sorry. The next thing that happens is on September the 9th, I get charged with 8 counts of obstruction of justice. Felony obstruction of justice for saying I made false comments. Now I want to remind y'all, all those allegations were from interviews in January. Things they knew about when they closed the case in April. Wasn't something new. I want y'all to know that, okay? And then 1 count of felony possession of stolen goods. And I'm going to tell y'all in a minute, I'm going to brag on the Lord in a minute and tell you how a miracle happened. And I'm going to come from the Lord Jesus. I want y'all to hear about that. So, what happens is I have to go do corporate taxes for my business. There's a deadline in September and you have to do that. So I go in to do my corporate taxes with my CPA. Been a CPA of mine for about 10 years. And evidently I've declined to pay a lot of franchise tax for different years. We got to get that fixed. So she pulls out 10 years worth of files. See what years I've paid and not paid. She's never done that before. As we're flipping through that, we find that every time I make a major purchase for my business, I tell the accountant, and we depreciate it over years. I had disclosed to my accountant that my business bought this ring and used business funds to buy it. In 19, that was for the 18 calendar year. My accountant gets curious. She pulls Deborah's tax file. She doesn't tell me what's in Deborah's file. She says there's something that probably needs to be looked at, but I cannot disclose it without a search warrant. So my attorney discloses and they do a search warrant for Deborah Goldman's tax file. Deborah Goldman went in, and she went in March of 2019 and disclosed to a CPA that she had sold that ring to my business for $17,000 and attempted to use the money for earned income credit to get a tax refund check. So she discloses it to a third party. She sold it to me 5 months after she reported this company in a tax file and tried to use it as income. That's how the Lord Jesus is. You tell me any other way. You tell me any other way. That ain't how that happened. So here's what happens next. I want to tell you all about this. The Wilkes County officer that initially took the theft report from Miss Goldman on September 20th, 2018, I told you I remember that date. He was interviewed on October 31st, 2022. And in that interview, he said, Kevin Ray Reese was not present at Goldman's residence at the time the initial report was completed on September the 20th, 2018. So the officer that took the report tells law enforcement, I was not there on that day. Okay? That's pretty crystal clear. So here's what happens after that. I get charged with insurance fraud. Okay? Now, I gave the commissioners a copy of this indictment for the insurance fraud. And I want to read this to you. On September 20th, 2018, Deborah Goldman made a larceny report to Detective Adams of the Wilkes County Sheriff's Office. In Goldman's statement in the presence of the defendant, she told Detective Adams that a platinum banded ring had been stolen from her home. In the defendant's presence, she described the ring as a platinum diamond ring. Now y'all heard that. In the defendant's presence. On September the 20th, 2018. How could have that happened if I wasn't there and they knew I wasn't there? They brought forth the charges anyway. That's pretty crystal clear. So let's go on forward from that. Now you know this all started because
So.
this all started because Miss Goldman said I stole from her.
So
We know that. This is a video of Miss Goldman.
When he came to me, and this was.
First of all, I got to pause that first thing. I got 4 short clips. This is a clip of Deborah Goldman being interviewed by the State Bureau of Investigation.
He kept saying, we should.
Okay. All right, so let me tell you. In 2018, Deborah told me that she thought her daughter stole her bracelet. She texted me that. I came home, she said, I'm worried about my daughter stealing more of my stuff. She said, I'm going to have you to lock up some jewelry for me. I told in that interview in January to the state police that Miss Goldman, they asked me if I'd ever put up anything for her, and I said, yes, I did. She gave me a blue box of jewelry that was taped up. I never opened it. I locked it up for her, and before she moved, I gave it back to her. I never opened it. I told them that in January. They asked Deborah, I guess, about that blue box, okay? Now, I want to remind y'all that was in like 2018. That's when she gave me the box. It was 2018. We know that, okay? So I want to show you another way the Lord intervened. So this is an interview of Miss Goldman. See that blue box that's on that table? She brings that blue box to that interview. Right? Now I'm telling you that box was taped different because when I had it, it had tape both directions. Right? And I gave it back to her. So they asked her about it in January. She brings it in October. Okay? Because the heat's been put on. Truth's starting to come out. So I want y'all to listen. I want to explain to you what we're looking at.
So why don't you give me some of your valuable stuff and I'll hide it away. And I will, and then you can say it's lost, you know. And I kept saying no. And he's like, his famous thing was that you need to pack tonight and you need to get out of here and you need to do it, you know. I think we talked about that too. Showing up in the middle of the night, banging on the windows, banging on the doors, with the car there in the middle of the night, threatening. Many police calls about that. At one point, I took that box, and I taped it up. And I said, okay, Kevin, fine, you win. And I gave him the box. I said, I don't want to hear about it again. There you go. There's your box. And I said, you can't open it. There you go. This was before my stuff was stolen. This was, I don't even remember what.
So what's in the box?
Right before I moved, he gave me the box back around the chicken charm time. And he said, I've never opened a box. And I know what the box weighed when I gave it to him, and I weighed it, and it weighs about the same. But what should be in that box is junk. It should be, I'm trying to remember, random junk from my junk drawer.
Something you just gave him to
Like,
help this
I
resolve.
think, I know there's some coins. I don't remember what else I put in there. I mean, we're talking
Right.
years ago. Years.
Okay. Well,
It should be junk.
So, I don't know if y'all, she said it weighs about the same. There's another little part where she says it weighs the same. It looks like 2 seconds, but I have that. But, notice, she said she never opened it. She told them it was coins and stuff like that, right? Told them this thing, okay? So y'all notice that part about weighing the same. I've never opened it, all right? And then she told me it was years ago, and I'm telling y'all it's in 18, okay? Well, I'll have a chance to brother the Lord in a minute.
but I don't.
This is the second.
So I think we talked about that one.
So is this recording?
No. So-
Stay calm.
Appreciate y'all being here.
Well, I've been caught several things. Are you okay?
Well,
It's nonsense. I'm not buying it anymore. I did. You got.
She's opened the box at this point, y'all see
You're
the
smart.
box?
I understand that. It's fine with me.
She's opened.
And I believe you. And I was like, no, she would not do this. This is crazy. I talked to the district attorney. I said, you know, I trust her. I gave you a lot of trust because I thought.
my daughter's
that
the
you were-
only one that has,
You don't want to hear about me trusting you, respecting you, because you're not showing me the same respect. So why would you? But I did. It's went out the door now because, like I said before, I'm not here. I wouldn't ruin a case that we have built, that you helped me build against Kevin Reese for no reason. There had to be actual evidence for me to follow up on. And that's why I'm here with. I'm here with actual evidence. And I knew coming in here that you didn't sell this ring.
There's something, if there isn't coin in there, dated after the fact. Too smart for that, right?
what?
Y'all get what happened?
How good to get hold
They're
of.
kind of.
I'm leaving a chance, leave the 12.
See?
After the fact.
You might as well take a picture of that.
I think her reaction's pretty telling. She knows she's caught.
Mhm. Do you have any pictures of that box of clothes where we can see if there's no damage before she opened it? From where you taped it to
Take
how
a
she
picture
taped
of
it?
that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything you want to talk to us about this ring?
I'm trying to talk to you about it.
Well, I feel like I literally feel like I've been on a hamster wheel for the last
We've gone around in circles.
we've gone around and around. And honestly, I could have read his report and told you everything that you told us today. Because you've not been any more helpful or truthful in this whole thing. And right now, I just be honest with you, there's no way in hell you pass a polygraph on this thing. I can tell you that. Ain't no way.
It looks good, ain't it? Kind of.
Because I think it was a shame